Alright, welcome back. Since last video, just while the video was processing, I went ahead and added the decks on the back with some rough railings. My view angle might be from about here, so I'm going to see some of this stuff, so I just wanted to, do a little bit of it. I'm still not putting the windows on the back right now. That'll just cause me to see like a window opening from the front when I'm rendering it through a back window, even though there'll be walls and floors between it. So I'm going to keep that back solid for now. I may even choose to add some floor footprints in there so that the light plays right later down the line. But it looks like the last two major steps we have to do are trim and roofing. So we need shingles on the top, probably. Well, it's going to be a membrane roof or something up there. I want to do something on the top so it acts right, so I'll probably put shingles on there. And I don't see any reason from this viewpoint it would matter, but I may see something here. So I'll put some shingles up there, and I want to do some metal roofing here. But I'm going to go ahead and start with the trim. The trim is a pretty easy concept. What I'd like to do is go back to wireframe. I want to work on this front view again. The other thing you can do is draw all your lines in the elevation file, which is a little easier when you're drawing a ton of lines, and you can always copy them over here. But for simplicity, I'm going to stick in this drawing for now. I'm going to start at the top. This top board, I want it to project. Right now it's only projecting, if I do a distance here, a ½ inch from the house to the side. Typically this board wants to project at least an inch. That way I can project my other boards 3/4 inch to give myself a reveal line there for the rendering. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and trace this, and I know that this trim stops at this wall. It wants to go to the intersection of here and here, and I'm going to close, so it's kind of wedge shaped. I'm going to use that line and draw my other piece on the other wall while I've got it there. Got to be careful for these little glitches. Somewhere in the architect's drawings, there's a remnant in there that's kind of going at an oddball angle. So I just close that polyline, so I have those closed objects. Then I'm going to do one for my window trim while I'm drawing my polylines. That's all going to be one piece. Close it. This is probably the same. It's not the same here. I'll do these windows as a couple rectangles. And actually, I'm going to draw one of each window trim in 3D before I copy it around. So what I'm going to do here is extrude this top piece 1 inch. And while I'm remembering, I'm going to actually offset that face another ½ inch. So it's an inch projected on the side as well. And I'm going to extrude these things 3/4 inch. I've got to subtract. This is a good object, but the lower one I need to subtract out the center. Now I'm going to copy these. Let's work from the top down onto my windows. This I'm going to copy again. I'm copying on the plane of the front elevation. Let's see. These are the same. These are the same. This one is not the same. So what I'm going to do is slice it on my YZ at the middle of the window. Keep this side and then mirror this thing over the center, and then I've got that size. I want to copy all my trims over my window. Okay, again, this board, I'm going to treat this as an inch thick projected board as well. That's only a ½ inch elevation, so this time I'm going to do a box. And I want to go to the wall and say 1 for the depth. And while I've got this, I'm going to pull this node over another ½ inch. I'm going to do a box again on the other side. And I hit enter because 1 is kind of already programmed in. I'm going to drag this over 0.5. While I'm at it, let's draw the trim piece on this side bump out. So again, a box. Now I'm overlapping these, and you'll see why in a minute. Let's finish the trim. Again, I'm just trying to work down It looks like if this is a 3/4 inch projection, that is going another inch, and this is going another 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is, let's see, and I have some other trim pieces in there to give myself a second reveal, it looks like. So maybe these reveals are only 1/4 inch or something. In this case, since I'm up on the plane, I'm going to use the polysolid command and say my width. I'm just going to pick this width, probably 4 inches. Height, 0.75. Justification, I'm going to say left. And I'm going to start drawing this trim. It's a little quicker than the rectangles and fun to do. I'm going to draw these pieces as well. I could probably just copy this around. And I'm going to draw myself another box that's only 1/4 inch. I just want to cover up that siding in the finished rendering with trim. Copy that over. Now, this bottom piece, I'm just going to draw the front projection the same this rear projection is. Or actually, I'm just going to say this is 1. And say this is 1.5. There we go. So that's my trim for my window. Hopefully this is all the same for the other window. Great. I've got my trim down to here. Now I'm going to do my corners later. So again, I'm going to draw a polyline over this. Close it. Extrude it. 1. Pull this node out another 1/2 inch. I'm going to borrow this header, copy it down to here, slice these things at the middle of the window, keep that side, mirror this over, union this stuff together and this stuff together. I could probably union the whole thing together. I'm going to borrow one of these. Now since that was polysolid when I drew it, these nodes actually give me a little bit of, uh-oh. That's not good. I know this can go higher. Then I'm going to slice this object at the midpoint of the window and mirror it back over and union it together. Again, I'm going to borrow this bigger header up here, use it for my door, slice it at the middle of the door, mirror it, and union this whole thing together. I also want to draw this trim. I'm going to go back to my polysolid because I know I have the right dimensions programmed in. Let's see, mirror that over the middle. There'd probably be a little piece down here. I'll draw a box below the door, come out 0.5. Let's copy this and this down to that door. Alright, I'm going to slice both things. Now it's higher because I had a transom on the last door. I'm going to slice those to the middle again. Let's just get rid of that one for now. We'll move this one to the bottom of the door. Slice this one to the bottom of there. And mirror, let's see, slice this one. Put it back there. And then I'm going to mirror the top over. Union that together. And I'm going to go ahead and just copy this vertical over there. And something happened here. I want to reslice this at the middle point of that header and keep that side and try mirroring it again. Whoops, I just mirrored it over itself. Mirror. Did it again. Mirror. There we go. Now I'm going to union all that stuff together. There was probably an extra copy. We're going to do the same thing for the garage door. I'm going to copy this point and put it here. I'm going to copy it down to there and union it together. Slice this thing at the midpoint of the door. Keep that. Do that and go ahead and mirror this while I'm union this back together. It looks like that's about all the trim, except for the corners, which I'm just going to put directly on the wall since they wrap around. Now the cool part is, since I know that this point lines up with the outer part of my wall, not my stone, I'm simply going to, I think I got all the trim on this side, I'm going to move everything on this half based on this point to the front of my wall. And now, if I look at this in 3D, my trim's all pasted on the front of the building. I'll do the same thing with the other side. Move all that. And again, the wall, not the stone. Take a look, make sure it all looks right. I'm missing some window trim there. Maybe I can, there's my wireframe view. This window size, let's see what the trim looks like here. It's basically this trim, but it's going to be a little wider. Whoops, so I'll copy this window trim over. I'm going to use, say, a top corner of my window as a base point to here. Height is right, the width is wrong, so again, I'm going to slice both objects on my YZ at the middle of the window, keep that side, and mirror it back over. Whoop, undo that. Mirror here, and I'm going to just pull my cursor way. Oh, see, I'm up. Let's see, there we go. And then union these things together, and union those together. Take a look at this. I'm going to go ahead and isolate my. Whoop, this one. Oh, this one went extra far because I actually moved that last object too far. So I think I can probably move that back. I'll just move this back to the 2D for now, because it looks like I have 1, 2. Now I know these need to project another ½ inch, so I'm going to copy all those, 0.5, and then I'm going to union these together. Heck, they can all be one object. Now I'm going to move this from, I'm going to find the intersection of the wall and the bottom. Move this from the intersection of this line and this line. And it's not wanting to pick it. So I can actually use this top point because my wall should be cut right. And it's hard to see because my railing is overtaking. There we go. I think this is that point. Now those are the trims there. Obviously I'm going to have some trim on the side and some more window trim, which what do I seem to be missing? Not much. I'll probably just stop this one now and go ahead and I guess I'll go ahead and do a corner real quick. So I'm going to look at this elevation and do a distance here, and the corners are drawn as 6 inches. Well, I happen to have a block. I'm going to set my UCS down to 0 and insert a block I have, which is a 6-inch corner. This is just a closed polyline that projects maybe a 1/4 inch. I'm going to move that down to where the corner would start, and I'm looking at the top of my stone, which I just realized I have to put this stone cap on because it's not on there. That's 2 inches, and it projects 1/2 inch from the stone. So what I'm going to do real quick is isolate that stone layer, set my layer to 0, and draw myself a polysolid that is a width of 2.5 and a height of 2, justification left, and I'm simply going to trace my stone. And I'm not putting stone in the back of this house for now. And I'm going to put that on a 3D cap layer. And that went away, and that's good. Now I can turn things back on. Now I have this block I brought in here that I'm going to move up to the top of that cap. That's a block. I'm going to explode it. Now it's a closed polyline that I'm going to extrude as high as it goes per the elevation. So I'm going to extrude it all the way to there. Now I could probably copy that one to any outside corners I have. I'll copy